If you just started getting into streaming and you ask any streamer what is the best webcam that you can get hold of, pretty much everybody will say it's the Logitech C920, and to be fair, it's very, very difficult to argue. It is a very, very good webcam. But if you're just beginning streaming and you haven't got the funds to be able to afford one of these, is there anything on the market that is just as good as this? Well, we're going to find out today in the review of the Jellycam webcam. And in the box of the Jellycam webcam, you receive the webcam. It does connect through USB onto your PC. We have this bottom plate, which is very similar to the C920 by Logitech, where you can attach it to your monitor. On the front of the webcam, on the lens, you can turn this for the manual focus. The webcam also has an inbuilt microphone as well. You can mount the webcam up onto an arm as well if you need to. And you get a user manual as well. So there is no driver disc that comes with this webcam. So I'm presuming that we just connect it up and away you go. As you can see there, we've got a transmission rate of 25 frames per second. You can do that all the way up to 1920 by 1080. And what we'll do now is we'll do a test with the Jellycam webcam. We'll compare it with a C920 and a C922 webcam. So let's do a few tests. Let's do some where it's completely dark, some with a little bit of light, with some full light as well. And we'll just see how each of the cameras compare and get on. So we are looking at Skype at the moment. So we're looking into the Jellycam webcam, which is right here. I've got a ring light that's in front of me. I've got my colourful lights behind me as well. And I've got a little light that's on top of my camera, which I'm using to film this video. So that is kind of the standard settings that you get with the Jellycam webcam. All I've done so far is I've actually plugged the webcam in and we've just rolled with that. We haven't looked on any websites for any drivers or anything like that. This is what gets picked up. That is what you get with the Jellycam webcam when I'm just using Skype. If we flick over now to we'll go to the C920. As you can see from there, the image quality looks a lot better on the C920, which it should do, to be honest. It's a lot more expensive than the Jellycam webcam. It does a lot better with the lighting on the C920 as well. So let's jump over to the C922 now. Once again, the C922 looks really good as well. If anything, I think the C920 looks better than the C922. It just looks a little bit better with the lighting. Whether that's to do with how I've got my webcams positioned at the moment, I'm unsure. So what we've got so far is that we haven't changed anything on any of the webcams, because if we go to webcam settings in Skype, we have got a few options that we can change in there. So we can change the brightness and the contrast, but this is literally straight out of the box. We've changed no settings whatsoever. So you can actually improve the quality a little bit if you want to sit there and manually mess a bit with the settings. And we're back on the Jellycam webcam now. So for example, if you're using something like Skype and you can manually control the settings, if you've got issues with the lighting like we have at the moment where there's like something just glaring in the background, if we go to our webcam settings, if we go to camera control, it might be cut off slightly, and we have exposure, we've got a -5 in there. You can untick that box and you can manually control it. So I mean, the picture's gone darker now, but if we go, let's try and go, so somewhere like that, -4, that image to me looks a lot better. What we'll do now is we'll turn these backlights off and we'll see how all the webcams look now. I will knock the exposure back to auto again, just so it's a fair test, so everything's got its automatic settings on there. So we've turned off the backlights now. I had a light on top of my camera as well, and when I've turned that off, the backlights have actually gone off as well. So as you can see, I'm very, very bright. I have got this ring light that's in front of me at the moment. So if we go from the Jellycam webcam, we'll go to a C920 and we'll see how that looks with no other lighting apart from this one ring light. Yeah, so the C920 does a really good job as well. You can still see the light is glaring in my face at the moment. I mean, I can adjust that, I can turn that down, but we'll go to the C922. The C922, once again, does a really good job as well. Once again, I still think the C920 looks a little bit better than the C922, but how does it look if we turn this ring off completely? So we're pretty much just going to be sitting in total darkness. How do these three webcams compare with each other? And we are in total darkness now, so I've literally got no lights on. The only light that's in the room is what's coming from my monitors. And to be honest, that doesn't look too bad. For as cheap as this camera is compared to the Logitech cameras, this is looking probably better than reasonable, to be honest. It looks quite good. So if we go from the Jellycam camera, let's go to the C920. Yeah, so to be honest, I think the Jellycomb is kind of holding its own. So if we go from the C920 to the C922, I think the image quality actually looks better on the C922 now rather than the C920. So I think in low light situations, the C922 does a really good job. But we're not here for the Logitech, we're here for the Jellycomb. So we're back on the Jellycomb camera. So to be honest, that looks decent. That looks very, very good. But what we can do now is we can fire up OBS and we can put all the camera sources on one screen. So we'll see how they look from there. Here is the Jellycomb webcam. As you can see, it doesn't do a bad job. We've got no lights on at all again. So once again, we've only got the lights that's coming from my screens, and that doesn't look too bad. This is the C920 now. Picture looks probably less fuzzy, but the motion, let's flick back to the Jellycomb for a minute. The motion looks crisper on the Jellycomb. We are all set to, let me go through the settings. We're on 1920 by 1080 on each of the three webcams, and they're all set to the highest FPS as well. So if we go to our other camera, same settings. If we go to, this is the C922 now, once again the same settings, 1920 by 1080. So the picture looks really dark on there, to be honest. So let's switch my light on and we'll see how it looks over the three cameras. Okay, so we've got a little bit of light now. So this is the C922 camera, and that runs really well, to be honest. So let's go from there to the C920. Once again, it looks as though it's struggling with the light a little bit. It could be to do with placement of the camera on top of my screen, but we'll go from there. Let's go to the Jellycomb. This is the Jellycomb. So as you can see, as soon as you start putting light on a subject, the Jellycomb struggles quite a bit. But we'll switch on the backlights again. So we've got a red LED one, a blue LED one. We'll see how the three cameras compare over that. And we are looking at the Jellycomb now. So this is kind of what you're going to get with the LED lights behind me. If we flick from there to the C920, that does a much better job. And if we go from there to the C922, so once again it looks a little bit jittery, but that's because there's not too much light directly on me, just the lighting behind me. So let's go back to the Jellycomb. Yeah, so I mean it's not bad. It's not as good as the Logitech's, but for this price point you wouldn't expect it to be. This is a test using the inbuilt microphone of the Jellycomb webcam. This is a test using the inbuilt microphone of the Logitech C920 webcam. This is a test using the inbuilt microphone of the Logitech C922. And one of the final thoughts on the Jellycomb webcam. To be honest, it's decent. It's not a bad webcam at all. It's not going to be as good as the Logitech C920 or C922. But to be honest, it's not on the market to actually beat it. If you are somebody who is new to streaming and doesn't have a big budget, it's a very, very good shout. Once again, if you're doing some streaming and you're streaming 720p and you don't need your camera to be on full screen and you've got your camera behind some kind of overlay, then once again, this is not a bad webcam at all. The one benefit this webcam did have over the Logitech is I think the microphone sounded crisper on this. The Jellycomb webcam is capable at 25 frames per second, so if you're somebody who needs that 30 frames, which you can do with the Logitech C920 and C922, then it might be best to go with the Logitech. But if you're happy with 25 frames per second, this is not bad. Also, remember with this webcam is that you have a manual focus on the front as well. So if your image is looking slightly blurry, you might need to manually adjust this to get yourself crystal clear. It might not be one of those webcams that you take out of the box, plug it in and away you go. You might need to tinker a little bit with the manual settings, but once you've done that, you've got yourself a very, very capable webcam. And my star rating for the Jellycomb webcam will be 7 stars out of 10.